Cool. Welcome everyone to Celestia Core Devs Call 33. Today we're going to be talking about V4, some new CIPs, and if anyone has anything from working groups, we'll go over that. So I guess just to remind everyone, in case you do have a working groups update, um, please feel free to drop something in the chat or raise your hand. I don't know if there are any updates though, and that's okay. The next thing I think we should talk about is some new CIPs. The first is number 36, which is to lower the trusting period to 7 days. And this was authored by Nash Q and is currently in draft. It looks like you're here. So if you want to go ahead and give us a quick overview of this, if there's anything else besides the title and description that describe it pretty well, could you please do that?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I already talked about that. The
I
last
feel like
CI.
you might have actually.
Yeah, but
My
to
bad.
reiterate, it's
Yeah.
basically lowering the trusting period to 7 days, and then consequently also the sampling window. And there are currently still some discussion in the forum post and some open comments on GitHub. But otherwise, the only consideration is basically how this might affect IBC light clients. And while they are still using a 14 days trusting period, it's fine as long as the unbonding period is also above 14 days. I think that's a rough conclusion. But if you ever want to go below 14 days for the unbonding period, then we also have to change the trusting period on the IBC Lite clients, which are on the other chains. Yeah, that's basically it.
Cool. And if you're interested in learning more, the CIP is available on the site and the forum post is also linked there. And I think, yeah, this kind of goes along with 36. 37 by Callum is now in draft. And this is to lower the unbonding period to about 14 days. Callum, are you able to give us an update there?
Yeah, and you're right. It is coincides with both the reduction in the pruning window, reduction in the sampling and trust period to 7 days, which is sort of lowering the unbonding period to 14 days and 1 hour. So this is just a trade-off between we can't lowering it below 14 days compromises the current IBC light nodes, which have a 14-day trust period. And that's we looked at as to how we can kind of reduce that in the future. But for now, going below that 14-day limit would compromise those bridges. So we're going for 14 days and 1 hour. Lower it just from 21 days, mainly to improve capital efficiency. I don't know if there's anything else. Of course, there's also the forum post as well for any discussion.
Rip. Thank you. So sorry. Um, I guess does anyone in the call have any questions about um 36 or 37? And if not, yeah, please jump in the forum posts. What else? So for 38, this is a new CIP that went into draft just before the call. And this is for high throughput block recovery. Evan, are you able to give us a quick overview of that?
Sure. This is just a wrapper sip over the spec. So if you're most interested, you should go read the spec if you haven't already. And I would deeply appreciate anyone's feedback or comments there. I think Ismail and Colin just left some. I need to get back to them. But essentially, this just describes how we're going to distribute data amongst consensus nodes while the block is reaching consensus. So this is after block creation. There's a little bit before block creation, but mainly after block creation. And more or less, this is what's going to be used to get us to about 20 megabytes a second. After that, it's likely going to require a different change, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. The change, for what it's worth, will look very similar to what this is. But up until 20 megabytes a second, it's just going to be this change. We also have code, if anyone's interested in the code. That is on the main branch of Celestia core.
I guess is that PR the best place for people to chat about it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I would look at the spec before looking at the code, but if anyone is more interested in the code, I'll add the code to the SIP.
Does anyone in the call have questions about this? I'll take that silence as a no. And if you, do have anything after the fact, please drop into that PR and comment as you please. I think the next thing we can talk about, assuming no one has questions about those CIPs for now, is V4. So I've actually been out. I'm not 100% positive on the kind of like issues we've been hitting, but I know there are new releases expected this week for both Arabica and Mocha, and we still need to make sure that all that testing goes smoothly on both of those networks before anything gets to mainnet. I guess, does anyone who's been working on that want to chime in?
Yeah, I can just quickly comment. So v4.0.3 Arabica and Mocha contain this bug fix for an issue that's been on networks for a while, which could cause really slow block times. They also contain miscellaneous other v4 fixes, but we have a few more that we have just merged and one last one that we plan on merging today. And after that, we'll cut subsequent patch releases. So v4.0.4 for Arabica and Mocha. And then hopefully, if all goes well, fingers crossed, we can actually activate v4 on Mocha. So continue with the deployment pipeline. And then once v4 activates on Mocha, we can, finally deploy it to mainnet. So that's the plan currently.
Cool. Thank you. Does anyone have questions there? I'll take that as a no. And I look forward to some updates this week. If you're a node operator, just please keep an eye out on the Telegram and Discord. Depending on what you prefer, we'll be announcing those updates in both of those. And I think that brings us to the last point, which is something related to editors for the CIP process. I think Rutul, myself, and Ethan are currently the editors, but we're interested in adding Callum along with us, just so that we have more eyes on the process. And I don't quite really know how we formally do this, but I guess if anyone in the call is opposed to it, please speak up now. And otherwise, I think we can move to make a PR to add Callum as an editor. And this will honestly just give us a little bit more coverage, And Callum also has a lot of context between all the engineering teams, which I think will be really helpful. So I guess unless anyone has objections, we can go ahead and make that PR, and the next call kind of finalize that. I'm seeing only thumbs up. So yeah, we'll leave that one kind of open to discussion in the next call too, but we'll have the PR ready then. And yeah, welcome Callum as an editor. That is everything we have today. Yep. And we'll go ahead and have the next call 2 weeks from now, which is Tuesday, July 8th. And we'll do it at the same time. So yeah, thanks everyone for coming. I look forward to seeing you in the next call, and good luck with all the updates.
Thank you.
Thanks, Josh.